Welcome to our PartsWatch Inventory Management Training Series. This video shows you how to set up and run the Popularity Ranking utility. Popularity Ranking is one of several part maintenance screens found under the Part Utility menu that can be used to take the guesswork out of inventory management. In case you're not familiar with them, popularity codes can be used to track how frequently parts are turned over in the store and to rank them from best to worst movers. Pop codes are called sales class codes on PartsWatch, so let's take a look at them in the part table. The field is broken into two positions and allows entry of one character each. Either one or both can be used as part filters. A few examples would be to filter parts for inventory reporting and to limit the parts ordered or returned in purchasing so that just fast movers or slow movers might be ordered, and customer pricing can be set up so that high sale items might be discounted and slower movers might be priced slightly higher to increase your margin. Each time the ranking utility is run and the new pop codes are updated to the part table, they're stored in the first position of the sales class code field, and the value in the first position is moved to the second position. And since the ranking is based on the sales histories, two consecutive rankings make it easy to see whether or not there's any changes in how well the parts are selling. Okay, let's take a quick look at setup. Before running the ranking utility for the first time, there's a one-time setup on the system level under the controls menu that's used to create all of the sales class codes used by all the line codes in all the stores. These codes should be meaningful, so if you prefer, you can use numbers, but the standards are usually A, B, C, and D to group the best movers as A and the slowest movers as D. An O for obsolete might be used for parts that haven't sold in a year or two, so they're not reordered, or you could possibly delete them. The system adds new parts with a class code of N, so they can be easily identified as new parts, but add the codes that make the most sense to you. When set up, these codes are available on the line code rank specific screen so that each line can be set up with only the class codes used by that line, and if not set per line, then the system level setup is used. The line level setup lets you set how important each class code used by that line is by entering a value in the percent field. Percent here really represents the weighted percent of each pop code or how important each one is. Okay, let me say that again in a different way. Each percent represents the level of cumulative sales from the most important parts, the best sellers, to the least important or worst sellers. The system uses these weighted percents to determine how many parts to rank as A movers, B movers, and so on. The total of the percents entered do not add up to 100%. They equal 100%. Okay, so watch closely with the example here. I'm saying that 60% of all the parts that I keep in stock in the Wix line are popular, so I'm identifying them as A movers. 20% are good sellers, so I'm saying they're B movers. 10% are C movers, 5% are D movers, and the last 5% are obsolete. That totals 100% of the parts. However, the system wants us to enter it in a running total so that the top 60% of the fast sellers are A movers, then the next 20%, which are B movers, brings the total parts being ranked to 80%. Then the 10% of the C movers brings us to 90% of all the parts. The next 5%, or D movers, brings us to 95% of all the parts. And finally, the bottom 5% are obsolete parts, includes all the rest, which equals 100% of all the parts in the Wix line. If the weight is not set up for a line in the line code rank specific screen, When you go to do the ranking, the system will prompt that no ranking data was found, and the system defaults will be used, and the system will assign the weight percent depending on all the popularity codes entered in the system popcode setup screen. Okay, while we're here, just so you know, the rank by dollar flag is disabled, so the report is ranked by units sold and does not output by sales dollars amount regardless of the flag setting. Okay, now let's go to the popularity ranking screen and walk through a ranking. Select a line and optionally filter the parts affected by a range of parts or by several part filters, as well as by the part create date or the sales greater than, less than, or equal to a certain amount. So let's just run it for oil filters. Then click Set Periods. Depending on how often you want to run the ranking, select the relevant time periods from the pop-up, current month, current year, this year, or last year. Then select all the relevant history periods and click OK. The system fills in the sales period selection and the current ranking information sections. If the store schedule is set up, then the number of days the store is open will display here, and if not, the number of calendar days in the period will display, but can be edited under sell days. If the sales class codes are set up on the line code ranking screen, they will display under the current ranking information. If not, the system defaults will display. The current sales class code from the first position in the field in the part table displays under current rank and can be edited. If you edit it, this new value will move to the second sales class code position when the ranking is updated to the part table, instead of the one currently stored in the first position. The weight percent can also be edited under new weight, but remember, as we already discussed, the percents represent 100%. They don't add up to 100%. Okay, once the utility parameters are set up, we're ready to rank the parts. And remember, updating the results to your parts table is optional. So at this point, you can use the utility as a report just to see how your parts are moving. The current ranking report only shows you the setups used for the ranking. The current sales report needs to be checked in order to see the results of the ranking. But let's go ahead and click the Update button and see the results of the ranking in the part table. When we first looked, the first position was set to B for this part, and now, after the ranking, the B has been moved to the second position, and we can see that our sample part is now an A mover. So that's it for this lesson. If you have questions, please contact your support representative, and be sure to watch the other videos in the Inventory Management Training series. And thank you for joining us.